Hello everybody, and yes, it's been a while, but I'm back. Emmy's back with another video with Miri in it. This time with voiceovers now. So I think it'll hopefully be pleasant to listen to as we go through the video. Today's video I'll be showcasing my hybrid team for Trial of Sky. I'm using Talisha, Pansirone, Oddy, and of course Miri. Miri's my most geared. She'll be dealing most of the single target damage, while my kind of half-baked Pansirone and Talisha will be dealing with the pillars. Oddy is just Oddy. I don't think there's really a substitute for him, especially in Sky Trials and if you're using Pansirone especially. Now Talisha is really good support. I highly recommend getting a Talisha. She's good support. She does pretty good DPS and she can heal. Her unique weapon is really good, provides permanent attack reduction and also boss damage amp. In this run I'm using her UT2, so that allows her S2 to give mana to Pansirone. Talisha's two fundamental skills are S1 and S2. For S1, blue is your AoE damage, red is your single target. Pretty straightforward. Her S2, blue is to give mana and red is to heal. But the mana circle is kind of weird, so you have to use UT2 to provide it to your mid-range and long-range party members. On to Pansirone. If you haven't heard of how powerful Pansirone is, you probably have been living under a rock. Pansirone is the meta physical DPS. She's used everywhere. I think she kills some world bosses and also Vel'Khazar. Yeah, she's just too strong. People do want her nerfed, but you know, Vesper said that they're not going to nerf anybody, but they could still buff Miri. Third slot in my party is Oddy, as usual, the combo enabler. He allows Pansirone to do the double S1 trick as outlined in one of my previous videos. I run through it in detail and also teach you the timings for how to use the combo. On top of that, his amp perk is also one of the best. It amps both magic and physical, so he works perfectly for hybrid. And then there's Miri, my waifu. Miri for all content. Miri is love, Miri is life, Miri attack, and Miri protect. So Miri acts as my frontline tank. She can also shield herself in a pinch in case she doesn't block attacks. As my waifu, she obviously has max investment, so A2 plus 20 soul weapon. She has a really good selection of perks which help adjust her stat line, as I'll get into it at the end of the video when I show gear. And to be honest, I was a little bit skeptical whether she would actually tank damage here, but she somehow managed to do it. So Miri for all content, as usual. And that's the rundown of the team comp. So we'll get straight into the run. Gear, perks, and stats will be at the end of the video. I'll also discuss some of my choices. And hope you guys enjoy the video, and see you next time.
Resonate crystal. Using this time to go. Resonate crystal. Appear colors of light. Using this time to go. Refill it, please.
Why not rewinding the bit?
Boast your blade. Boast your blade. Time to go. Boast your blade. Refill it, please. Please. Resonate. Crystal. Time to go. Decorate the sky. Dance on. Tempest of light.
rewinding the bit.
Boost your ability. Using those spines you go. Boost your ability. Boost your ability. Resonate crystal. Using those spines you go. Put a little. Light. Decorate the sky. Spines you go. Please. Light. Decorate the skies. Using those spines you go. Light. Decorate the skies. Resonate crystal. Using those spines you go. Powders of light. Please collect your Boost your brilliance. Boost your brilliance. Boost your brilliance. To go. Resonate crystal. Put away. Light. Decorate the sky. Using those spires to go. Tempest of light. Light. Decorate the sky. Using those spires to go. Please feel it, please. Using those spines to decorate the skies. Using those spines to resonate crystal. Appear. Powders of light.
Why not rewinding the bit?
Boost your brilliance. Using those spines to go. Boost your brilliance. Boost your brilliance. Please. Come here. Using those spines to go. Resonate crystal. Light. Put a little.
Starting with Talisha, pretty standard DPS. Her crit is 860, so that with her crit perk it brings it up to 100%. You really do need to try and get 100% crit, since you don't have priests with any of those crit perks. Same with Pansirone. Pansirone's at 660 crit. She is taking the 400 crit perk. So that brings her again up to 100% crit. Miri is in a tank DPS hybrid, so as you can see the P def isn't really high. P block is pretty decent, but her P toughness is essentially 0. This is because she's using full attack runes in her soul weapon. As I said before, I don't actually know how she manages to tank all the damage, but she somehow does. With really high attack, her shield is pretty big as well. And as with the other DPS characters, Miri here has 490 crit, so for the perks I've taken both crit perks, which give her 550 in total. That brings her up to 100% crit, so that her S3 can deal maximum damage. Now as for Oddy, he's pretty standard. I don't think his soul weapon really matters here. The whip probably does. I've got a 4-star, that's helping dish out a lot more damage. He doesn't need too much bulk. If his HP drops low, Talisha can heal him. The main perk he has to bring is the S3 amp. Otherwise, I won't be dealing any damage to the pillars. And that'll be it for the gear section. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for hopefully more future content. If you have any questions, especially about Miri, feel free to ask, leave it in the comments. Also, I hope that the new voiceover format is good for the videos. I know that previously I'd done text only, but it might come as a surprise that I'm doing voiceovers now. So feedback would be appreciated as well.